Hello everybody, PsyStarcraft here, and this is Faster Than Light, a game released in 2012, as you can see here, that recently released a gigantic update that added tons of new content, ships, aliens, missions, stuff like that. If you guys haven't seen it, you're in for a treat because this is kind of a very simple yet incredibly difficult space simulator type game. And you can see I don't have anything unlocked right now. I'm starting from scratch, enabling the Advanced Edition content. And it's kind of like a Binding of Isaac type game where you play through it and you only have one life. If you die, that's it, and then you have to start over. You play through it again, you learn more, you get a little bit further, you die, play through it again, and so on and so on. And as you do better, you learn, different paths to take. You might unlock different types of ship layouts, as you can see here, or different types of ships which have different play styles. It's a lot of fun. It's very difficult, and I recommend that everybody play it. But we're going to be going with the default ship because I'm just now starting out, and it's the only ship I actually have right now. We're going to keep it on the normal difficulty, which is incredibly hard. I can't even imagine anyone being able to beat the game on hard, but I'm sure some hardcore players have been able to do that. But as you can see here with the Kestrel, we start out with 3 crew, 2 weapons. These are the subsystems. You'll learn what they do if you don't know what they do as the game progresses. But we're going to go ahead and get started here, and in the beginning, the data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so make sure to explore each sector, blah 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 blah. Gives you a little tip. But basically the objective is to get through every single sector and destroy the rebel ship. And at this point I am running from the rebels, and I need to get to my base and kill the flagship. So you have 3 crew members, you have tons of different rooms, and this crew member is the pilot. If you have someone in the pilot room, it gives you evasion, so you can see my evasion is 15%. If you have a crew member in the weapons systems, your weapons will recharge faster. You can see the weapons charging up like this. If you unman this, you'll notice that the weapons take longer to charge. See, it got bigger and smaller. And this guy will add to evasion if he's in the engine room. So you can see my evasion is 15%. If I take him out, it goes down to 10%. Several of these benefit from having crew members on them. The shields will regen faster. These actually don't benefit. However, you might need to repair them, so that doesn't mean you won't ever send your crew members to these locations. So let's go ahead and get started here. We do not need a store. This is the money up here, scrap. We don't need to go to a store because we don't really have any scrap. Nebulas actually slow down the progression of the rebel fleets. The rebel fleets are going to be coming from this side of the map, and if you go to a nebula, it slows down their progression. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the nebula. And every time you jump somewhere, it gives you a text prompt. Nebulas are known to be popular mantis hunting grounds. Information you would have done well to hear. Okay, that's a weird way to say that. But anyway, waiting for my weapons to power up. And usually in the beginning, you can press space to pause like this. Usually in the beginning, you want to disable your opponent's weapons or shields. Usually the weapons, because their shields aren't too powerful. So I have a burst laser which has 3 shots. So 1 shot will be absorbed by the shield and 2 shots will hit elsewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the weapons with my burst laser. And we can see 1 shot hitting the shield and 2 shots hitting the weapons. So I don't need to use my Artemis. Now the Artemis is a missile. So it consumes a missile charge up here. Now the cool thing about missiles is they are not affected by shields. So that's why I chose not to use the Artemis just yet, because you can see the weapons are disabled. It looks like I'll be just fine, focusing down the shields here. So down goes the shields, just 1 more shot to take down the ship. And it doesn't matter where you target, they will take hull damage as long as, you make contact with their ship. Most weapons will function that way. So down goes the Mantis Interceptor, and at the end of a destroyed ship, you get some resources. So I got 2 fuel. You need a fuel for each jump. I got 1 drone part, which I don't have any drones yet, but you might see those later, and 19 scrap. So I'm going to go up to 29 scrap. And this is essentially what the game is. You encounter tons of different scenarios and tons of different ships. You arm your ship with all kinds of different weapons and so on. So this guy wants me to pay a toll, but I don't really want to pay the toll. So I'm going to go ahead and reject their offer, and they're going to end up fighting me. So they do have a drone floating around my ship. Now this drone is a very powerful drone. However, its weapon can't go through shields, so it has to work in conjunction with the with the ship's actual weapons, and they do have a missile. Missile does not go through shields either, so the only way the shield would be disabled for this drone to do anything is for his missile to hit my shield, because that's the only weapon it has. So kind of a weird system that the other enemy ship has, but I'm gonna use a missile to disable their shield, and now they're like, okay, we don't like this, we want you to let us live. Do I want to accept it and receive 5 missiles, 1 drone, and 9 scrap? It's a lot of missiles, but I'm gonna go ahead and decline because these guys are assholes. And as you can see, this guy did take some damage. You can move him to the health bay to repair them, and I'm currently repairing the engines. What does this do? Return crews to save positions. Oh, that's cool. So I can save their positions, and then I can just like move them here, and then I can return them. Oh, that's pretty neat. That's something that was added in the Advanced Edition. Now I can turn them back, and it looks like I got more scrap but less missiles from not taking their offer. So up to 47 scrap, only taking 2 damage, which isn't too bad this early in the game. And I kind of want to go up this way and travel towards these nebulae so I can maybe hit up more locations, because nebulae slow down the enemy ship. And we just have a generic rebel fleet. Not a lot of cool scenarios happening yet, but they are pretty common. And once again, I'm going to disable the shields with my Artemis and then go for the weapons with the burst laser. Probably don't need to do that because, the burst laser itself does quite a bit of damage, and I don't want to waste missiles, but it just makes it a little bit faster. Now I'll just be going for the weapons. What I can't see occurring right now is the other ship's crew. You actually have to upgrade your sensors, which is this upgrade, to see what the other ship's crew is doing. So it doesn't really matter at this point. Sometimes it's relevant to know what the other crew is doing, sometimes it's not. And down goes that ship, as you can see. In the beginning, it's not too difficult, and in between battles when there's no danger present, you can click on the ship button, and this allows you to view all your different types of upgrades, what systems you have. You can upgrade your engines, your med bay, your O2 weapons, all kinds of things, your power bars, which, as you can see here, I'm out of power bars, yet my engine can still use 1 more power. So every power you use in your engine increases your evasion by 5%. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 1 more power bar for 20 scrap and upgrade my engine, so now I'm up to 20% evasion. And we can check out the crew and our equipment as well. You can see all the stats on your equipment, augmentations, any cargo that you can use to replace your weapons, and drones. So let's go ahead and give it another jump. I think I'm going to go down here, up here, down here, and then through here. So you basically, I think the best way to play this is to hit up as many locations as you can before the rebel fleet gets to you. I'm not really sure though. The really cool thing about this game is there's all kinds of different strategies. You can just like try to, rush to beneficial, homeworlds of allied races, or you can, just tons of stuff. You can just try to milk every single nebula for what it's worth. Looks like my shields are actually unpowered right now, which is probably fine because I have disabled their weapons. There's not really a threat that the other ships pose once you disable their weapons, and in the beginning it's very easy, especially with the Kestrel, which is the ship I am now. It's very easy to just, power down their weapons immediately. So I'm not going to jump until I repair the shields and get this guy back to the engines, because like I said, he does increase the evasion by 5% when he's manning the engine room. So shields are repaired. Oh, not quite. I actually moved before they're repaired. You can repair faster if you put more than one guy on it, so you can see it's going much faster. And now I'm going to send them back to their saved spots. And then I'm going to, okay, the shield's enabled already. So the reason I have these guys on their specific locations and I can't interchange them is because if you highlight the players, you can actually see, okay, Frederick, he's got some weapon experience, so I want to make sure he stays on the weapons the entire time. And we see Valera, he would have some engine skill, or she would have some engine skills, but enable for the engines to level up, you have to dodge attacks, and I haven't actually dodged any attacks right now in order for the engines to level up. That's what I was trying to say. I was like, enable those level up. Okay, another guy that wants me to pay a toll, I'm going to reject that. And you can also get a sneak preview if you have good memorization or you've played the game long enough. You can kind of see what weapons they have. So looks like this guy has a burst laser and maybe a hull beam, and hull beams are really good against unshielded ships. The problem is AI doesn't usually use them in the right order. So we're seeing he tried to use the hull beam before my shields were gone. Hull beams don't do anything to shields. He should have waited for the lasers to fire and then done something with the hull beam, but AI I think it might get a little better later on, but right now, not the greatest. And I'm going to go ahead and disable that. I'm going to disable their shields too with the missile. Don't really like wasting missiles this early, but I just kind of want to speed up the progression of this game just to give you guys a good idea of what this game's all about. So once again, so it looks like he's going to give me 4 missiles, a drone, and 21 scrap, as well as an explosive replicator augment. I don't know what that does, but any augments in this game that you acquire this easily are definitely worth it. So I'm going to accept their offer, even though they're a scumbag extortionist, and see what this augment does. Missile-based weapons have a 50% chance of not using a missile. Wow, that's actually really good. Effectively, I'm at 15 missiles right now. Wait, would that be 20 missiles? Yeah, effectively I'm at 20 missiles right now. That's really good augment. I am impressed with that. I'm glad I took that bribe. So a pretty good start so far. Taking a little bit of damage, which is to be expected. A rebel ship hails. We did not fight a war to let a single Federation ship shatter our dreams of a better galaxy. He locks weapons. So far I've encountered lots of different ships, but that's not always the case. A lot of times it's like different scenarios, like diplomacy, and do you want to send in a bunch of your crew to try to save these civilians, things like that. So we'll probably be seeing some of that later, but doing pretty well so far. I'm just gonna launch missiles at will, just since I have that explosive replicator. It allows me to take much less damage, and what we're seeing now is when your enemy knows their beat, they'll try to faster than light, which basically means they're going to enable their warp drive. So they're charging it up right now, and the reason it says it's delayed is because their crew is actually scrambling to the weapons and shields to repair those, and so there's no one manning the pilot, the cockpit, to actually charge the faster than light. But it doesn't really matter. It takes much too long to charge, and I was able to take down their ship before they could. So up to 99 scrap. I don't really need to commit myself to getting more engine power or more weapon power, so I'm just going to kind of save the scrap for now. It's useful when you go to stores as well. And I don't even have any other weapons to power up if I were to get more weapons power. So we can see the rebel fleet advancing. This is where the rebel fleet is. This is where they might be next turn. So as long as I'm out of range of this warning section with my next jump, I'll be fine. And of course I'm going to be jumping to a far off nebula where they're going to pursue slower, and I'm gaining a lot of distance on them. So I'm not really worried about the rebel fleet right now. It's pretty easy to plan ahead. Feel naked without functioning sensors. You half expect a rebel ship to appear, but none come. So nothing happening there. And I think I'll move here then here. Let's check out the nebula. A black market weapons trader spins you a tale of the dangers of the nebula before pushing his wares. Purchase an unknown weapon. 45 scrap is actually really cheap, and it could be a pretty good weapon, and I wouldn't mind another weapon. I could attack it, but there's no guarantee I'll get anything good if I attack it. I could ignore it. I think I'll purchase the weapon, actually. 45 scrap seems pretty reasonable. So they give me breach missiles. Let's see if it was worth it. Wow, it costs 3 power. I'm not going to be able to power that up. So not only do I have to buy 3 power bars to power it up, I have to buy 3 weapon systems to be able to do that too. So 3 weapon systems cost what, 160? So I'm going to pay over 200 scrap just to power up this weapon. Or I could replace the Artemis with it. But let's see what it does first of all. Breach. Designed to cause maximum destruction to hull armor. So the Artemis missile does 2 damage. This does 4 damage with a high breach chance. So it does 4 damage compared to 2 damage, but it takes twice as long to power up. So a very expensive missile, but considering I have the explosive replicator, I'm kind of happy I got a missile. I just can't use it for a while, so we'll hang on to that. Not sure if that's a great weapon or not. Not super familiar with this game so far. And we do have a distress signal. Usually want to go to the distress signals right away. Usually get a lot of resources, from the result of whatever happens there. So we use our last faster than light fuel to jump to the station. They indicate a burnout husk of debris and warp metal. As you can see, the war must have spread this to this sector. We've been stranded ever since. So basically, this is an NG ship. NGs are typically allied race. They're engineer type race. And so I'm gonna go ahead and give them fuel. I've got plenty. And so I give them the fuel. Here you go, have some extra scrap. So I just got 21 scrap for 2 fuel. That's a pretty good deal if you ask me. And now, I probably should have gone here first, because now if I go here, go here, go here, see, I can't really hit up all these, locations. And if I go here, I'm backtracking, and then I'll have to go back here. So I could just do this and end it to save fuel. I think I'll just do that. I kind of messed up my route, but that's okay. It's not a huge deal. A pirate ship arrives shortly after you. Judging from the fact that it is attempting to avoid your ship, you assume it's a smuggler. I think I'm going to attack smugglers. I don't like smugglers. Pirate scout. So you can see that breach missile just isn't going to be used. I'm going to go ahead and use a Artemis to power down their shields. And then right after that hits, now I can use my burst laser. And you can, if you hold control, see how it turns yellow? That means it'll just automatically fire. So now that I know their shields are down and their weapons aren't going to pose any threat, I'm just going to sit back, take a drink of my Mountain Dew. Oh yeah. Oh. Do I want that much fuel? I kind of want more scrap, so I'm just going to kill them. So I would have got 6 fuel, 2 drones, and 9 scrap. 6 fuel is quite a bit, but I don't really need fuel right now, and 9 scrap isn't as high as I'd want it to be, especially since I'm trying to get my breach powered up. So let's see if it paid off. Nope, did not pay off. Only got 4 more scrap and didn't get any fuel. See, sometimes that's just the price you pay for trying to be greedy. I mean, 6 fuel is quite a bit. I probably should have just taken it and assumed that I might need it later. So now that we've reached the exit, we can jump to the next sector, or we can continue to explore this, but of course the rebel forces are going to advance still. But we're going to jump to the next sector. We have an uncharted nebula, which is a lot of nebulas like I'm in right now. You can see the purple clouds. Or a rebel-controlled sector. Now, the rebel-controlled sector, obviously you're going to be doing a lot of fighting, but you might get some nice scrap from that sector. Uncharted nebula, I'm not really sure what they're all about. It lets you explore a lot of them because it's harder for the rebel forces to track you. But it can be kind of frustrating at the same time if there's just a bunch of dead nebulas that don't offer anything. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the rebel-controlled sector, right? Typically in the past when I played this a long time ago, I used to avoid this, but let's give it a shot. This sector was hit hard by the rebellion. The many alien settlements and stations located here are now watched over by almost an equal number of rebel bases, heavy-handedly keeping the peace, in quotes. So we do have a store down here. Excuse me. Where you can, you know, I'll show you what the store looks like later. I don't have enough scrap. I want to save the scrap for the breach missile, even though I don't necessarily need the breach missile right now. Despite the barren area, a trader has set up shop. He wants this offer. I don't need drone parts. I don't have any drone systems, so I'm going to decline that offer, Mr. Trader. The AI of a nearby rebel scout immediately identifies you as a threat and engages. So he's got a missile and he's got an ion blast. The ion blast doesn't do any damage, but it's really good at disabling subsystems for an extended amount of time. So you see it hit the shield, and so this shield's going to be disabled for a while. And although that doesn't really matter that it hit the shield because missiles go through shields anyway. So you can see some of the AI build sets don't make a lot of sense, but it's kind of cool because it's randomized in that way. It's not like the game makers purposely made their ship layout stupid. The game is just randomized, you know, much like, you know, Binding of Isaac was, or, you know, Diablo 3 loot, or Diablo 3 you know, monster types and stuff like that. Not gonna waste a missile. I do have that explosive thing that reduces missiles fired, but his weapons are completely powered down. And auto scouts, they don't repair very fast. Auto scouts aren't manned by any crew, and they take a long time to repair, if they even repair at all. I'm not sure if they do repair at all. But doing okay. I am on normal difficulty. You arrive in the asteroid belt. Rebel, prepare for fights. This guy has no shields whatsoever, and we're in an asteroid belt, which periodically, you know, sends asteroids at you. And so, really bad to not have shields in this kind of situation. Looks like a rock just hit my blast doors. So this controls my doors. I can't open and close them now, if that's disabled. So I'm just going to go ahead and give that a quick repair. Pretty simple fight right there, especially in an asteroid belt when the enemy had no shields. And whenever you're in danger, you cannot jump away until your pilot charges up your faster than light. So basically, I just have to sit here and wait for it to charge. So it might have been smart to use another unit to repair the blast doors instead of my pilot, because my pilot could have been charging the faster than light that whole time. So we're going to jump down here. A Federation encrypted signal is being broadcast from a nearby pilot. Send in a away party to investigate. So sending an away party is dangerous because it might lose one of my crew members, or I could just move on. Now, in this type of situation, there's a lot of different things that could help you. Like, if you had a slug crew member on board, you could communicate telepathically. If you had, like, long-range sensors augmentation, it would be another option here to, like, use those. So, obviously, I don't have any real awesome choices here, but I'm going to go ahead and send in a away party to investigate and cross my fingers. As you approach the signal, you receive a message. I knew we'd catch some Federation's ship with this signal. And now I'm being boarded, so I've got 3 humans on board. Humans are pretty generic fighters, but obviously if there's 3 against 3, I'm going to need to send my guys to fight them. So I can still launch my weapons and function my ship, but as you can see, because I have no pilot, I have no evade. So their weapons are going to be much more effective. I'm not going to be able to recharge my shield as fast because my shield guy isn't there. So kind of a disaster going on here. This could be a pretty troublesome round. They just disabled my O2, so now I have to worry about my oxygen levels as well. So hopefully I can kill off their crew, repair my oxygen, and take down their ship in a timely fashion. So we're going to go ahead and missile their shields, go for their weapons. Oh, and a big damage on my medbay too, so I can't heal. So hopefully I win this fight. Looks like I'm winning. You can micro these fights pretty effectively. Oh jeez, these guys are beating on me. I might need to get these guys out. Oh no, run! The enemy ship is running. If I can take down their ship, these guys will, I think they might stay on board actually, but he's taking down my engines. Whenever they destroy one of these subsystems, I also take damage. My oxygen's down to 65. My medbay is back up so I can heal up a little bit. Okay, I will accept their offer of surrender just so these guys get off board. Oh, they don't! They don't live! You fuckers! That was actually a lot of resources for the surrender, too. So finally taking them down. I need to go repair the oxygen before it runs out. Gonna repair the weapons, but that was not a good encounter. And remember, all of that occurred because I got greedy. I sent an away party, even though, you know, there are different types of upgrades to your ship and crew members that would make other choices available that are much more beneficial. So that was rough. That was rough. I'm pretty low. Got a lot of missiles and stuff from that, but I really want to power up this breach. So let's see what we can get. Okay, so we need 3 power bars. Actually, let's just get 2. We don't need the med bay to be powered unless we're actually going to heal. So if you right click, you can actually unpower that. So now we've got 4 power bars, so we've got 3 power bars. We still need 3 weapons systems power. Why does it look like you're weak? What are you doing? Oh, because I disabled my med bay. There we go. And we're going to send our guys back. And so we need 3 weapons. We can get... Did he just die? What the fuck? Oh, it's because their ship was burning, so I just waited and I saw their ship die from burning. Alright, so once we get to 75, we can power up the breach, which probably isn't necessary this early in the game, but hey, I want to see what the breach missiles do. Once you arrive at the location, distress call. Thanks for responding. Our FTL has gone haywire. Can you lead us to the destination? Sure. So they gave me some scrap just for fun, and now I can take them to the quest marker on the map. So let's just go straight to that quest marker. Quests usually give you a pretty good amount of experience. Rebel ship, intruder is on board. What? A flushed and panicky rebel soldier is teleported aboard. He's unarmed. He declares his peaceful intentions. So, do I think he's trying to trick me? Reject his offer. I always accept. I'm such a sucker. Oh, cool. He wasn't tricking me. He was legit wanted me to help him. So we now have a new crew member. He's going to man the shields. It's going to allow the shields to charge up faster. You can see this. Shield skill. 10% faster recharge. So let's send an Artemis missile at the shields. And let's, oh! Where'd my missile go? Disappeared. We're going to disable, yeah, let's just disable the weapons. My missile got shot down by something. That was weird. What kind of drone is this? Combat drone? Well, let's see what... Oh, I think my missile hit their missile. That's what happens. So their shields are now... Yellow means they're slightly down, but not all the way. So that's probably going to be repaired pretty fast. I'm just going to stick my burst laser on their weapons. They only have 1 shield, so I think that'll be fine. And offer some cargo if I let them live. Still, that's not a lot of scrap, but I'll take it. We have a ton of missiles. We're going to have our breach missiles up soon, so I feel like I might need that many missiles. We got here. Intruders on board. Sensor, you hear someone that's ready to die. Oh, geez, more of these guys. Okay, so which do I want to use to fight? I want to keep the pilot on because he allows for the evasion to occur. I think I'll use the shields and the weapons just because they're close. I might need to switch them out because I was the attacker, so I got my first attack off much slower. Oh, Jesus. Oh, we're stunned. Okay, missile on the shields. I need to enable my med system. Disabled their... Where are you at? No, I'm still too low. Disabled their weapons though, so that's good. Don't have to worry about that. My shields are down though, and this guy's still alive, so that's gonna do... I gotta use a missile on this. Ow! My pilot! Fight, you fools! No! Mr. Phillips, don't die on me, Phillips! Heal up! Jump imminent. No, he's gonna get away! And they fucking got away! That was not a good fight. I am probably not managing this game very well right now. I'm just gonna get another power bar to power that up. Why wouldn't I power that up if I don't even need the excess for the breach yet? That was silly of me. But as you can see, this game is very difficult. This is normal difficulty. It's so hard. I recommend you start out on easy if you're having trouble, or if you think you might have trouble. So this guy's at full life. I'm gonna heal these guys up. Oxygen's flowing through right now. Actually, I can just equip breach right now. The problem with breach is it takes so long. Possible effect, breach, fire, and stun. Possible effect, breach, fire, and stun. I don't know, I think breach just takes so long to charge up that it might not be worth it, but... Because Artemis, it's good that Artemis gets a quick shot off. Man, this is not going well. Alright, let's go ahead and save these positions now that we got that new crew member. Maybe the quest marker will give me something good. So this is Faster Than Light, Advanced Edition. Just a generic Rebel Scout. I don't like waiting this long for breach. I really don't. But it does 4 damage. It does twice as much as this, but it takes twice as long to charge, which would actually make it a little bit worse, I think. Gives you less options of what to do. So let's go ahead and breach the drone. Big missile! Oh, look at that fatty. Boom! Yeah, let's take off the breach for now. We're just gonna save that for once we get another weapon system up. Also, the problem with missiles is there are also anti-missile drones that can be deployed by your opponents, which, you know, obviously really fuck up missiles, especially breach because they're like fatty missiles. I'm just gonna shoot an Artemis. This is taking too long. Die. Not a lot of scrap. Don't want to visit the store for any reason. We gotta jump to the quest marker on our next one. Hopefully we get something good from that. -3 fuel for 2 drone parts. No, thank you. Oh, we got a distress. So we distress, quest, and then exit might be too slow. The rebels might catch up to me by then, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So let's see what the distress signal is. Small ship, trying to maneuver. Help, our shields are down. Try to shield them with yours? Sure. Oh! Took 4 damage. That's something you probably don't want to do unless you have more than 1 shield. Or 2 shields. So this is not looking good. Stores allow you to repair your hull as well. So that's my quest reward, which is pretty nice. However, I'm now going to be jumping into a rebel ship. This is bad. So the problem with being caught by the rebels, as you can see there's tons of rebels around, is they're much more powerful than normal ships. You can see this one has 2 shields and a fuck ton of life. And also, even if you beat them, all you get is 1 fuel. So probably not a good idea for me to go to that distress signal. So this is bad. This might be the end of me. It very well could be. I'm gonna go ahead and Artemis these shields. Oh god, I am now dead. Yep, they just destroyed me. So as you can see, this is Faster Than Light. Hope you guys enjoyed this and got an idea for the game. Gonna be playing some of this on my stream, so go ahead and check it out. One last explosion marks your fate as your ship is torn apart. As you can hear, the soundtrack is actually really cool as well. That was it. Didn't play that too well. I just kind of wanted to show you guys the gist of the game. But that's gonna be it. Check out my stream, twitch.tv/PsyStarcraft today, and thanks for watching. I sucked it up.